When Oklahoma State softball signed Ruby Meylan, it was such a big deal that it made waves even though it broke right before the deciding game of the Women's College World Series. The hard-throwing right-handed pitcher is a huge get for the Cowgirls. They've added to their transfer portal haul since then, but Meylan remains their biggest get. I had a chance to talk with her, and while I wrote about her decision to become a Cowgirl on my website, Beyond the Box Score, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already at jennycarlson.substack.com. I wanted you to be able to hear her voice, though. I wanted you to be able to listen to her story in her words. Why she decided to leave Washington, what she thought of her trip to OSU, why she picked the Cowgirls, and also what she hopes to bring to the team. But before we get to that, I want to encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just hit that subscribe button. It's free and it's easy, but it helps me a bunch. So without further ado, here's my conversation with Ruby Meylan. I had fun talking to her, and I hope you enjoy our conversation. Well, hey, let's start with this. Can you kind of talk me through just a little bit of timeline, how things rolled for you as far as deciding to enter the portal, when you started thinking about it, just how all that went down for you?
Okay, so just to be completely transparent, I loved Washington. I would have never thought of leaving. But when our team, it was literally like a one-day thing. Our team kind of broke apart and a lot of girls decided to leave. I was like, okay, it's probably in my best interest. So the day I literally thought of it, I talked to my parents and I entered the next day. So it was a pretty quick thing, just knowing that the World Series was going to happen and we are going to try to just get on a visit before that happened. So that's why we wanted to enter so soon. Mm-hmm. So I entered my name. I got in on a Thursday night and I was in Stillwater the next afternoon. So
wow.
Yeah. I got as soon as my name went in, within 15 minutes, Coach D had called me and he was like, well, you want to get down here? I was like, yeah. So I did, left the next morning and got down there, and then I loved my visit. It was a great time, but I was like, I probably just need to take a couple more just to be safe. Courtesy. And a dead period happened during the World Series, so I couldn't go on any. And then I had 2 more visits planned, and I was like, I don't think I want to go into either of these schools. So I canceled them and committed the next day.
So were you in Stillwater Super Regional weekend?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you and Amanda both would have been there at the same time, I guess. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So what kind of put me there on your trip? What was it about the visit? What was it about OSU that, it sounds like you liked it, even though you waited a minute to commit, but what was it about the trip that sort of stood out for you?
I would just say, the willingness to have me during, most coaches, I feel like, would be like, okay, it's Super Regionals, we're going to wait till after to have people on visit, which is totally understandable. But the fact that this coaching staff, wanted me down there immediately and were so welcoming on a game day when, that stuff can be super stressful, it just felt like I was already a part of the family when I literally had just gotten there and hadn't committed yet. And so the girls were great. They let me be in the locker room and stuff. It was just very welcoming and loving, and it felt super low pressure, and I felt like it would be a really good environment for me to play in.
It's not often that somebody that they want to join them gets a chance to see the inside workings of a team on game day. Did that sort of, not just that they allowed you, but did you sort of have maybe a different view than you might have otherwise? I know that all these visits are great. They show you the facilities and, meet the coaches and the players and all that. But is it different when you get to sort of peek behind the curtain on a game day?
I feel like there's no hiding anything at that point. So I think it was really good for me to see what the atmosphere was like on a game day, because people, if it's not, which is, that's normal. It's it's great. But if you don't get to see that, you kind of like unmasked by, oh, these are all the nice, beautiful facilities. Here's here's the school. And like, you don't actually get to see what like a day in the life really looks like. And so I feel like it was really good. Like, I even got to hang out with the girls on the game day, which is what's crazy to me. I was like, dang, at Washington, I would have been like sitting in my apartment alone. Like, so it was cool to like see that before even experiencing that as a player.
Mm-hmm. So tell me about the lead up to deciding no more visits, I'm committing. Did it just kind of percolate in your head and you think, what am I doing? Or how did it sort of come to you that was the decision to make?
I feel like it just took a little bit of time. I mean, I was talking to my parents every day about it, and these were schools that like I was a little bit interested in, but never like I was like, oh my gosh, I need to go there. And so my dad was like, well, if you don't have any interest, why waste their time? Why waste your time? Like, there's no point in going down there. Like, it's going to be what it is. But if you already have your mind made up and your heart set on OSU, then you might as well. And so we figured out some of the things like scholarship, all that stuff. And I was like, all right, I'm going to come.
Yeah.
And he got really excited. So it was good.
Well, I was going to ask you, tell me about the call. When did you call? What was the conversation like?
He was on a flight. So I was like, hey, can I call you? And he was like, I'm on a flight. And I was like, all right, call me when you're done. I bet he was nervous. I don't know why. And then I was like, okay. He's like, what's up? And I was like, I'm going to be a cowgirl. And he just got super excited. But he had to go on another flight. So it wasn't super long. But he's like, okay, I'll call you tomorrow. We can talk about like school and stuff. And then I got applied and everything happened super quickly. So yeah, it was good.
Yeah. So had you had any previous association or contact with Kenny? I mean, I know you're from sort of more this part of the country than the West Coast where you've been playing, but had you had any like overlap with him at any point?
No, I wasn't recruited by OSU out of high school at all, so I had never met him. I didn't know much about the program or anything. It just kind of, I was watching TV during regionals, and I was just watching like OSU play. I can't remember who, but I was like, if I ever were to transfer, and this is way before I actually thought about transferring, I was like, if I ever were to transfer, I would probably go to OSU. You know, my dad was like, why? I was like, I don't know. I see the thing that really excites me is the underclassmen and the really talented, hardworking freshmen and sophomores. And that takes a program to the next level when you can have people lead like that from their freshman year. And so seeing girls my own age do that kind of stuff, it's like, okay, we would graduate together. We would play the rest of our careers together. So that was really exciting doing it. And then after that, I started to learn more about the coaching staff and all that. And I kind of fell in love with it.
So now you've gotten to meet like Carly and Rosie and Claire and, you know, Michaela. Like, what's your sense of, I mean, just that's a bunch that I don't know if anybody at OSU knew what they were going to be able to do this last season. What's your sense of that group as you join them now?
I mean, they're just fun. Like, they seem to just have a lot of fun and kick butt, and it's cool. Like, I'm excited to join it. I mean, we played down in Florida in preseason, and they kicked our butts. So I'm like, I love joining them.
Did you pitch that day against them? I didn't go back and do my homework on that. Okay.
I did not pitch.
Okay. I was going to say, if you were pitching, surely the kicking butt thing might not have happened quite so badly.
So it's good thing I did it.
That's great. That's great. You were talking a little bit about Kenny, but obviously Carrie Eberle will be your pitching coach. got a chance to meet her. I know, probably talked to her. What's your sense of just how you're going to work with her, how she is similar or different to maybe other pitching coaches you've worked with? What's just sort of your takeaway from how you're going to work with her?
I really like that she's young and she's been in the game, playing college and pro ball. So just the experience that she has and all of that. And then too, having Lexi hopefully on staff, like, will really help with the different dynamics, like Lexi just coming off of a season and Carrie being out for a few years, just the different perspectives. And then them having worked together too, I feel like they'll be able to collaborate on some things. So I'm really excited to get to work with her.
Yeah, for sure. So talk to me a little bit about sort of what you feel like, next level Ruby looks like as a pitcher. I mean, I think people have a pretty good sense of how successful you've been at Washington in the 2 years there, but what do you sort of feel like with this off season, next fall coming into OSU? Like, what's sort of your hopes and expectations of where you can go?
I mean, I think that, like, my goal is to be a top 5 in the country, and I think that's really attainable. This summer, I'm really focusing on recovery, nutrition, sleep, and then lifting. And so all of that, I feel like, has really worked for me in the past, and just to kind of get my body back to where it needs to be. This season was tough mentally and physically, and so I think just getting back to where I know I can be and to lead this team to a national championship, that's what it's going to take. So I'm willing to do whatever, even if it's crappy. Like, I want to get back to where I know I can be and will be, so that I can put our team in the best situation possible to hopefully host a regional, host a super regional, and get back to Oklahoma City.
Yeah. I said a second ago that people have a sense of what you can do, but maybe OSU fans, they may have seen you, but maybe not a ton of you. So sort of for them, describe what kind of things you hope to bring to the team, what kind of pitcher, what kind of player, what kind of personality, like who can they expect to see when you step on the field in that orange and black uniform?
I'm a very big personality. Like, I laugh, I'm really loud, like, just, I can't really control it, but my voice is super loud, like, you will know I'm in the room. I play with a ton of passion. Like, I say this a lot, like, I truly believe that no one loves softball more than me, like, I'm, like, obsessed, which I think is a good thing. I play with a ton of passion, I get excited, I get sad, like, I get mad, like, it's just really authentic, and I'm always going to wear my heart on my sleeve. And so I mean, yeah, you're gonna know how I'm feeling, and I think that's the best way to play, because people want to see the real you, not this fake I guess person. And so I play with a ton of emotion, passion, and I literally do celebrations, I'll laugh, I'll scream, whatever. It's gonna be fun. People like to watch it.
Well, as a loud talker myself, I am totally on board with Ruby having that big personality. It's going to be fun to see her in Stillwater. Is it softball season yet? Well, no, but I'll have lots more softball throughout the off season here and on my Substack, Beyond the Box Score. So be sure to subscribe to both. But that's all the time we have for now. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.